Welcome back to the plot. Today we've had a few dry days, so it's time to sort the guttering out on the polytunnel. So that's today's task. I'll show you how we're going to do that. So we managed to get hold of some of these tight head barrels, and it's simply just a case of, on here what we've done is, it would normally be like that, we've just taken a jigsaw round at the thinnest point where it just sort of starts to come in, and then when you flip them over, the lid will go straight on because they've got like a little recess. You see they've got like a little recess in here, so when you actually cut off at the thinnest point, that recess will fit in there. So it'll give us our lids. So we've currently got one linked up. So I've put the guttering in place, and I'll show you that. So we've got all the guttering line in place, but obviously these sheets here, it's a bit condensation on the inside, but it's nice and dry on the outside, so a nice few days. But obviously there's a gap here, so the rain's not going to go into there. So let's get our bits and pieces and show you how we're going to do that. So to get the water from the sheet into the guttering rail, you need three things. One, some double-sided sticky foam tape. This is the sort of stuff that they use. You can find it on Amazon or anywhere else. It's what they tend to use for sticking number plates on cars, but it's just thin double-sided foam tape. Some polytunnel repair tape, and a thin strip of polytunnel material that we salvaged from when we covered the actual polytunnel. So first jobs to do is, so the aim of the job is, so what we're going to do is we're going to run some foam tape along here, then we're going to stick the polytunnel sheet to that foam tape, use some hotspot tape along the top and the bottom to get it into the guttering. So let's start by getting this double-sided tape on. So it just needs to be just above the guttering here. So we're just going to run that all the way along. And as I say, it's condensation on the inside, but I've wiped down the outside, and it's been dry for a few days, so should be absolutely fine. So just run that along the full length of the polytunnel. Just push that, seal that down. Now for what is normally the most difficult part of the job, and that is getting the tape off the back side of these tapes. So bear with me, I'll get that done. There you go, only took about a minute to get it done. So just going to pull that off. Stash that in our pocket. Then we're just going to get this sheeting and starting down here, just going to overlap it so it's just on the edge. We're going to go all the way along and put this sheet onto the tape. Just make sure you've got to push that down, make sure you've got a good seal against the tape. And there we go. So I'm just going to get a bit of cloth. Just going to get a bit of cloth here and just give that a good wipe along, just to get any dirt or moisture off. Little muck under there. Let's get that out. So now we've got that bit stuck onto there. Next job is to get the polytunnel repair tape. If we can find the edge, again, it's one of those jobs where so I'm just going to trim the start of the tape off where the paper marker is. Now obviously you need to do this when the sheets are dry, because otherwise this stuff just won't stick very well at all. And we're using quite thick tape, but you don't need to use tape that's quite that thick. So just going to put that about halfway along the seal. I'm just going to pull that out, line it up and push it down. Now you might find that the top edge is not very even. In that case, just make sure when you pull it out a long way, stretch it along, get it lined up, and then seal down rather than just doing it a little bit at a time. And then just to finish off this top edge, what we're going to do is just get a bit of tape on there and just wrap it down around the side here. And that will just stop the wind getting up under it. So now we've got the actual sheet into the gutter. I'm just going to go down and use my cloth, just make sure that that's all on there properly, nicely sealed on. Now once we've got that on there, I can go through and I'm going to trim this piece of plastic so it just comes into the guttering. Let's start at this end. And so if you've got a nice sharp pair of scissors, you shouldn't have to do any cutting, you should just get into the edge of it, and then it should just be a case of actually running the actual scissors along the sheeting. Now polytunnel sheeting is immensely strong for what it is. However, I'm just going to cut that bit so it's around the bracket, comes around the bracket. However, so it is, so let's drag this bit out. So polytunnel sheeting is amazingly strong. It is really, really strong. I mean, this is quite a thin piece. I mean, I managed to split it there, but it is all your energy. However, if you get a small tear in it, like just cut a tear in there, you'll see that it will split quite easily. Which is why, if you do come across any tears or any cuts in your polytunnel, is to actually repair them. So what I'm going to do is just a demo. Is I'm going to cut a split in here, and you can see that that will just pull apart. So if you get some polytunnel repair tape, put that across there, and when you're doing your polytunnel repairs, it's important to actually do it front, do the ironing on the outside, and on the inside. So we split that material, and I've put a bit of polytunnel repair tape either side of it, and you can see that actually now, either pulling it that way or that way, it's actually repairs it, and it's really strong. So always repair a polytunnel rip or tear in your sheet immediately before it gets any worse, because it will get worse if you don't repair it. But as I say, and the idea is, if you've got like a split through here, put a piece of tape over the split, put a couple of pieces of tape at a 90-degree angle across the other way just to support it. Do the same on the inside, and actually that piece of material will probably last longer than the rest of the polytunnel. It is really good stuff. So now we've got this cut, so it's just about going into the guttering. Just to stop it flapping around all over the place, I'm now going to just run some polytunnel repair tape along the inside of the guttering. Just wipe that out while we're going along. And I'm just going to take that into the guttering rail. And that's just going to stop it flapping around really. It's a belt and braces. You could probably just have the sheet folded in there. But the risk is if you got really high winds, the wind would actually get up and underneath that. It might be flapping around and doing down the integrity of it. So there we are. That is how we're going to be doing the actual thing. So if I bring you in a bit closer, you can see. So rubber tape underneath, sheeting down. You see the top of the sheeting there. Then the polytunnel repair tape over the top, which will mean the water will just come down and into there. And then we just take that into the guttering to stop the sheet flapping around. And that will give us all the water drainage off the polytunnel that we need. So I'm going to crack on and do the other side. But that's just a quick summary of what we've been doing. There's been a lot of other stuff going on the plot, and we'll cover that in another video. We've got the electrics in, and we've got the temperature monitors in everywhere up and running, and we're also in the process of breaking up lots of pallets. I'll show you where we are with that. So in here we've got all our stuff. It's a bit of a dumping ground at the moment. We've got some spare sheeting. We've still got some pallets broken up, still got some pallets left to do. Once we've got all the pallets broken up, we'll start on the construction of the polytunnel beds and the potting table. For the potting table, I managed to find these steel metal plates, so I might use that for the surface of the top surface of the potting table. We shall wait and see. But for now, I'm going to crack on and finish the other side of the guttering, and then what we'll do is we'll wait for it to rain and see how much water we collect. Now, we're probably going to need to get some more barrels, I would have thought. So at the moment, over here, our water collection setup, we've got the greenhouse flowing into this IBC tank. Now, when we installed the greenhouse, it was probably about a month and a half ago, we put the guttering on it. This had about 200 litres in it. It's now actually completely full up. So a small little greenhouse like that, which is 8 by 6, I think, has filled up 800 litres of water in just over a month and a half. So this polytunnel is easily going to fill these 2 water barrels. So we might see if we can get hold of a couple more of these water barrels to put here. So we got these just off like a marketplace off of Facebook, and so there's a lot of companies use these for different stuff, and they're quite happy to get rid of them. You might, if you're really good, you might be able to get them for free. They normally charge about £10–15 for them. These will actually come from a company that do flavoured vodkas. I think one of these, well, this one was had spiced peach syrup in it, and this one had some sort of mixed berry fruit syrup in it. So we just got those, cut them off, give them a good swill out. And then the other thing we're going to do today is actually we've got a joining kit, so we're going to just join these up and around. Now we haven't got any taps on them, and that's because if we need to, we can always pump it into the IBC tank if we want, or just pump it straight out of here. Or the main idea is that these are quite big barrels, and this is why I wanted these barrels rather than water butts. And that means I can just get a watering can, dip that straight in there, and off we go. So we'll see if we can get some more of those barrels, perhaps a couple more on this side, and we'll link them all up so they all just overflow into each other. And then I think if we did that, we'll have, so in terms of water storage, we've got 1,000 litres, or just over 1,000 litres. I think it's 1,100 in there. We'll say 1,000. So 1,000, and then we've got all the water butts, which are about 220, but we'll say 200 for the ease of the mass. We've got 2 here, 2 by the shed, 2 by the little polytunnel. If we get another 2 here, that will be 8 in total. So that'll be like 1,600 litres plus 1,000 litres here. We'll have 2,600 litres of water when they're all full up, which is really good. Obviously I like using fresh water because it's rainwater, because it's better for your plot. I mean, people might say it's a bit overkill, because if you follow me, so this is the greenhouse. As you'll see, just over there is a water trough, which we get tap water through in the summer anyway. So it's like literally a 10-yard walk from the plot. So it's not like I'm going to run out of water. I just prefer, rather than using all the water and it costing the allotments a lot of money, it's better to actually save the rainwater and use fresh rainwater rather than using tap water, which generally has got a lot of other chemicals in it and stuff like that, to make it good for human consumption. But anyway, that's enough of me rambling on about water collection. I'm going to get on, finish this guttering, and then I'll catch you next time. Cheerio.